This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans. Matt Doherty says he should be in the Ireland squad. Do you agree? Plus, we take a look at how our boys in green got on across the water and a new season ticket incoming. It's Lansdowne Roar. How's it going? Welcome to another edition of Lansdowne Roar. David Dunn here, joined by Mark Prendergast, and of course, the lovely, slightly distracted Conor McAvoy from Rep Tracker. I'm watching you, boy. Nothing gets past me. Eyes on the camera. As always, if you wish to subscribe to the page, do scan that QR code, head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. Do give Conor a follow over on Twitter at Rep Tracker. He's doing God's work with the current team, the future team, and just anything to do with Irish football. You want to know what's going on? Rep Tracker is the place to go. If you want opinion, do head over to lansdowneroar.ie. A new article has just come up there from James Agnew about Steve Staunton's, shall we say, interesting time as Ireland boss. So give that a read over there as well. Also, if you wouldn't mind subscribe, well, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe, but also please like the video. It does help. And any comments, make them below. We are Irish football's most interactive podcast. Right, chaps, let's get into it. I suppose the big story of the day is Matt Doherty, who gave an interview to the 42.ie. It was behind a paywall, but we have some of the quotes here. But I better do the whole. There he is, just in case you forgot what Matt Doherty looks like. Isn't he lovely? Now, let's get into his comments. About being unhappy about not being in the last Ireland squad. This is what he had to say. This is directly from the 42. Hallgrimsson explained at his squad unveiling ahead of the Nations League doubleheader against Finland and Greece earlier this month that he spoke to Doherty to explain his reasons for not including him. Part of the thinking was that he didn't want to bring the defender over to sit on the bench and had to look at other options for next year's World Cup qualifiers. And here's a quote from Doherty. That's exactly what he said to me. I just haven't been playing that much, so I don't really have an argument with things at the moment, Doherty says. But obviously, I should be in the squad. Even if I'm not playing or not going to play, I should still obviously be in there. But yeah, I'm patient. I wasn't happy, but I got to spend time with my kids. I expect to be in the next squad. So, lads, I'm going to ask you first. He should have been in the squad. What say you?
Totally agree. He's shown for Ireland over the last couple of years on the club level that he's first team sheet. Nah, I don't know where this thing of I should be in the squad come on. No player should have a God-given right to be in their national team squad without Ireland, unless you're Seamus Coleman, who's the captain, the leader. So I don't understand where he's coming from saying he should obviously be in the squad. I know he thinks highly of himself, and probably all footballers probably should have that bit of confidence about themselves to want to play at the top level, but I don't know. I don't really get it. I don't know why there's a need for coming out and speaking like that, because I'm sure he knew when he was speaking to David Snyde that just that he would have known that this would have gone viral, because he knows he would have seen, like, when he posts on Instagram after Ireland games, he gets bags of abuse every time, and I just think he could have answered maybe the questions a bit more. It's not like it was like an unmedia trained answers is what he gave to him at the time, but
yeah,
I'm worried about.
He did say, didn't he, at the time, like, I don't normally do these things because I tell the truth too much.
Yeah.
Which I think is what we're going to look at here, Martin. He says he should have been in the squad. What say you?
I can understand his thinking in some respects with Seamus being injured. That's probably the only justification for him being in the squad with that, to be honest. But at the same time, it strikes for disillusionment, really. You know, his performances haven't counted. He says himself that he's not playing regularly. I know he's a senior pro. I think that's why he feels disrespected, and that's harsh words to use that, I think. And you know, he's aligned to the thinking of, it was Paddy McCarthy and John O'Shea picked that last squad, and now Heimer's made this decision, and I'll certainly be in there next time. I don't get that from Hamer's press conference the last time, how he was very truthful. I suppose he said he spoke to him, but and I wasn't sure about the answers even then. Like, we are looking at other people, but I hope he hasn't been given any reassurances that he'll be back in the squad, because he's just flat out to deceive. I know he says he's truthful, but I think this is a footballer who's not kind of doesn't really understand the thinking and mentality of Irish football fans who passionately follow the team around the world at cost. And all we want is our team to play and try their best. And I don't mean to hammer him on this, but his performances have been poor. It doesn't help him when he posts and links in Shane Duffy of, oh yes, 45 of our best and things like that. His social media posts may be in tongue in cheek and a bit of kind of his humour, but I don't think we get that. And when we concede goals against England or Greece and he's not tracked back or he's not working hard for the team, we're going to call him out on it. And I think he deserves that then. So, I think he's just not really aligned to the thinking of Irish fans at all. And it comes across as really not understanding us.
I think I just think it's incredibly just total lack of awareness.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the goal against Greece. And we'll get to that bit in a second, but look, like he doesn't try a lick. I don't care. Okay, he came out with social media stuff, and we were like, oh, really? And we thought maybe he was being, is he being tongue in cheek or is he being serious? Like, I don't, but we thought it was tongue in cheek at the time, and it was okay. Maybe people need to just calm down a little bit. We tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, but maybe thinking, you know what, he's accepted he was terrible, so he's going to do better next time. Let's just be more of the same. He hasn't tried a lick. He doesn't track back. The game against Greece, he was on, I don't know, was it 5-10 minutes he was on the pitch, and he scored a second goal because they suck him in. Bosh, over the top. They know he's not going to track back. And there you go. He just jogged back, and people were outraged by it. And they should be outraged by it because people are paying good money, Martin. They're traveling across, like yourself, traveling across from London, traveling up, down from Monaghan, like yourself, Conor. Now, I know we're in the media section, but there's people from all over the country that are traveling that don't live in Dublin and are going to those games, and they're living in the UK and are flying over and they're spending good hard money. The only thing we want to see is effort. And from what I've read there, we'll get into that a bit because there's another bit of this as well. But I haven't seen any admittance saying, I haven't been good enough. And that is what, unless it's been edited out, I can't see why that would. I don't want to, but from what I've read of that, there's no mention of that whatsoever. We'll move on to the next bit of it. I'm being disrespected. And this is, yet again, directly from the 42.ie. He was dropped for the game against Greece. Centre-back Andrew Amabamidele preferred a right full, despite Seamus Coleman being forced to withdraw due to injury. That selection and the manner of how it was handled led to Doherty and Hagrimson having a discussion about disrespect. Doherty's part in Greece's second goal after he came on as a late substitute was also highlighted by RT Stephen Kelly, while the 42 reported how England's first goal was also a bone of contention. This is what Doherty had to say. No, we never spoke about it. Didn't bring it up in conversation. Never brought it up in camp. Unless my memory is completely gone, which I don't think it is, Doherty says. We spoke about a few things. He thought it looked like, in his eyes, that he thought I felt disrespected in the last camp. I said to him, yeah, I felt disrespected in the last camp because in the second game, Greece, he was playing a centre-back at right-back ahead of me, and that's not possible. So we spoke about it, and we're fine, so I should see them in November. It would have to take a lot to hurt my feelings. I've got thick skin, and at the end of the day, if he doesn't want to pick me, it's his decision. I've played 0 minutes in the last 4 games. What could I say to that? And he didn't play on the weekend either. Doherty admits the feeling of disrespect about not starting against Greece stems more from only realising when it was confirmed before kickoff. Just look at the team. Look at the team sheet, says Doherty, and see it like that. That's why it felt like that disrespected. But just looking at it, like I was the only right back left after Seamus had left. If you're not going to go with the logical decision, then I feel you should have said it to me. It was his first squad, so I guess he didn't really know any of the players. I know the season had started, and I'm not sure if he'd been over to watch anyone at that point. But I guess he was using it as like a scouting mission to see how everybody is, how people react to certain things, how people react to not playing or whatever. So he reckons it's down to a reaction. Kind of maybe Hagrimson's trying to get reaction. But you touched on it there with Seamus not being in the squad, that he should have stayed, he should have played. But, do you see where he's coming from? Playing a centre-back, Amabamidele, instead of him, could be disrespectful.
Logically, you would say probably yes. But in a thing called real life, and when people use their eyes and people use their head, it's not disrespectful in my eyes, because realistically, when's the last time he's shown up for Ireland and played well? Like Greece away last year, he got sent off. That game against Hungary, he was dreadful in the first half. Like even like that social media post doesn't bother me, lads, to be honest, because that was just in my eyes, it was just a bit of humor. Like I just thought, oh yeah, just whatever it is. And then that England game, he was very poor. And then, but like he looked like when he came on against Greece and made the mistake or didn't run back for the goal, he looked like a player that was that was in a bad mood, that he wasn't starting and was on the huff, that he didn't get on and was, oh, I'm just coming on, I'll just do whatever for whatever 10 minutes. So I can understand as a right back thinking, why am I not in the squad? Why am I not playing? But like, I think we've seen enough from over the years to show we just can't trust him anymore. Like, do you want to put your faith into a player that you just don't know what you're going to get? You might get a player that's, yes, he's composed and calm on the ball and good and like giving quick 1-2s, but like when it comes to the tracking back, getting stuck in or making that overlap and run, which he does do sometimes, but you just don't know what's going to happen with him. So I don't know.
No, I mean, I think you make a very good point there, Conor. And Martin, on Conor's point there, it's not disrespect, it's lack of trust, surely.
It's just a realism, I think, from Heimer that, I think Matt Doherty, to be honest, I think he's struggling to cope with the fact that his career's coming to an end internationally. He struggled with his club recently. He talks about in the interview about going over to Atletico Madrid and how his interaction with Simeone, that didn't work out. It calls it a holiday, basically. It's just going against him at the moment. I think it really strikes me, and I'm going to kind of link this to another podcast I heard where Shane Long was talking about how he felt disrespected when the shirt was handed over to Adamida. It just sounds, it comes across as a little bit kind of a bitter and not feeling loved and appreciated. And that's where I think this feeling of disrespect comes from. He is a senior pro. He's been involved in squads for so long. But ultimately, as you said, Matt Doherty hasn't performed for an Ireland well for a long, long time now. And I think it's just coming to an end with him. There's other players coming in. I know, a fair play, he's always turned up when he's been picked, but it's just not happening. And it's not happening club level. I mean, he can't even have an argument that, oh, well, I'm playing week in, week out for my club. He's not. He can't get a minute for them. And yet he's thinking he should come in for the Ireland team. That's something that, if the manager had turned around and said, I'm only going to pick players who are actually playing for their clubs, then he's struggling, isn't he? But he hasn't said that because we can't afford to do that as Ireland, as a team. So that's just a fact of it. I just think he's coming across quite bitter with it. And I think as well, he has been truthful. I mean, look, when he had the spat with Martin O'Neill, he came out, was very much like Stephen Ward with the Roy Keane voice note that time. That was basically talking out of school. He was telling someone in a radio interview how Martin O'Neill was, and then he gets Martin O'Neill giving him abuse, calling him whatever. I just think it's coming to an end for him, and I appreciate his honesty, but I think he's got to be really honest with himself and just accept it. Really.
Well, that's the thing. Like it's not in that call. He just says, I don't do this quite a lot because I tell the truth too much. Well, tell the truth, Matt. You weren't good enough. You didn't try a lick. You didn't. This is Ireland. This is not Spain. You are a luxury player, a poor man's luxury player. Let's call it as it is. In a team that cannot afford any passengers. You are a passenger in a team that needs every hand on pump, because just the way we play, just where the team's at right now, and he just strolls around, and it's not acceptable. It's not good enough. And I was a manager. I mean, I thought the manager had done him a favor. Has done him a favor by not throwing him under the bus in front of the media, which is what I think he did. I don't believe. I hope now, he says I'll be back in November. I really hope he's not, notwithstanding a massive crisis. As you say, he hasn't played. He didn't play the weekend, hasn't played the last few games. We're going to get to Oibig in a minute. I don't see the point, really, in having him around the squad. It's not like Seamus Coleman, as you rightly said, Conor, where, he's a leader. I'd even argue that with James McLean. I don't agree with everything he does, but, that example that is set. I'm not saying Matt Doherty's a poor professional, but, well, off the pitch anyway, I think he's very unprofessional on the pitch. when you don't run back, when you don't track back, especially if you lose possession or whatever. I think that's unprofessional. That's just my opinion on that. And yeah, I don't get it. Like if he turned around and said, if he had to turn around and said in that and goes, I just have to be better. I don't intentionally play bad for Ireland. It's just I need to be better. And yeah, I understand where the manager's come from. You go, fair play, Matt. Like you've really you come there clean, but I just think
he's not though. That's the thing.
No.
He's not. I read into this, and even look, it's worth reading the whole article, of course, because even David Snade saying how he got the interview, that Matt Doherty only spoke to him because he heard the Irish accent and stuff. There's nothing really honest in it too much. It's not incendiary. It's not like he's not being honest with himself, but he's too nice as an interview as well. I would have called him out on the, can you explain that media post, that social media post back in June, because the fans felt strongly then. And, I think, to be honest, I find there's a few digs in this as well. I don't know why he's mentioning, this was the new manager, and I don't really know how much he came over to watch us. I don't think you need to say that. I think he's been a bit bitchy there, to be honest. So, he's digging out Heimer for, apparently he didn't come over and watch people and stuff. I think he's probably just not had much interaction with the manager and had it explained to him. It probably was a brief phone call. He thinks he deserves more than that. And that's just how he
do you think he's
very much sorrowful for himself?
Do you think he's sticking out as players a bit? Do you think he's sticking out as players a little bit by turning around and mentioning Andrew, like saying, he can't play right back?
I think that's just more about the fact that, a player will feel disrespected, even back to Martin O'Neill days when Cyrus Christie was played in centre midfield. I would question that. I don't have a problem with a player thinking, why am I being played out of position here and he's picking here? That's no problem. But I just think he's being a bit petty with it. I don't think he's actually going for Andrew. He's going for more the kind of decision making, and it's trying to undermine the manager. And I don't like the kind of presumptiveness, even if that's a word, of and I'll be back in November. I hope he's not fucking back in November because he's pissed me off with this, to be honest. Because I just don't see it. I just don't see it. It's just annoying. Like, we're on a feel good factor now. I think this interview.
Well, I don't know. We're a feel good factor.
No, we are though. We're on a bit
go to bed.
We're on a bit of a lift,
negative.
aren't we, from Finland? And I think this
realistic.
is a very big negative thing to bring into it. And he could be saying, "Yeah, I'm knuckling down. I want to get back in the team." I don't think he's that half-assed playing for Ireland now. I wouldn't be surprised as well if there's a contract on the table, or he's negotiating something with Wolves and he wants to get something in there that, and I'm still an international player, because it's come to the end for him. His legs are gone. And one thing I would say about Matt Doherty, and I love Robbie Brady, right? And I feel Robbie Brady could have been a real great for Ireland, and he was just curtailed from injury. I think with Matt Doherty, where it kind of went wrong for him was, and I'm not saying he got in overall by the hype and things, but he really worked his nuts off when he was at Wolves, and they were a good side. They were good to watch, and he was integral to how they played then with Wolves and the success they had. And then he got to move to Tottenham, and I think, to be honest, it just comes across to me, he thought he was a big star. He's hanging out with Harry Kane. They're playing Champions League. They're competing, playing big games against Chelsea and Man United and stuff. They were a top team then, and he's thought, I've arrived then. And I think, to be honest with you, he stopped working as hard as he did to get himself into that position and got that move. And then it's all gone wrong. And I just feel he comes across as a very sorrowful character for himself now. I think he could have been a lot better for Ireland. He is a senior pro. He should have been a lot better and, potential captain at one stage for Ireland, because he was so highly regarded. And I look back, and when I compare him to Robbie Brady, still knocking around, putting a 100% shift in for Ireland, despite horrendous injuries, I just think comparatively you can't even compare them, because Robbie Brady was always stood up for us and performed and given us big moments.
Okay.
Doherty hasn't.
All right, breathe, Martin. Breathe. Sorry, lads. I think that's a bit better looking. As you probably noticed, I was having a bit of if you're watching on the video, I was having a bit of a background malfunction, a bit of a Janet Jackson going on, but with backgrounds and not bits and pieces sticking out. So, Martin, have we recovered from a little rant there? Breathe.
Sorry, special guest coming soon, Matt Doherty.
Yeah, Matt Doherty on the pod. Your response to Martin. Sorry, Conor, you wanted to come in on that.
The thing is, when I look at this statement, it's you can feel that you're undone or it's unjust that you haven't been picked. That's a fair response. Or you can be very annoyed you're not in the squad, because the thing is, every Irish player wants to play for the country, no matter what, even no matter what you think of them. And it's just a thing of disrespect. And when you look to the future of Irish football, and the positivity around the last squad, I know a lot of it did come from him not being picked, but it's pretty sad. It's because of one player not being picked. But like if Heimer announces his squad the week after next, and no matter say everyone's gonna be hoping Andy Moore's been in it because of how good he's been with Stoke and how talented he is. And if he's in the squad, even if a Dennis Serkin is in the squad, but then you go through the list and you see a defender named Matt Doherty, the uproar will be mental. No matter who makes the squad, there's just gonna be a negative strike coming over the squad. Like, and I'm sure players know that themselves. Like that it's not even him. It mightn't even be him himself. It's just his presence. Just the fans in the ground. Like he'll get booed again if he comes on. If he comes on against Finland again, he'll get booed again in Dublin. So I really worry that Heimer might have told him that we're going to bring you back in November. But with the return of Seamus Coleman, and I know Fessy picked up a bit of a knock last night, but I think he's all right. But like I know Fessy is playing on the wing so far for Heimer, but you still think there would be the two right backs as such in that position that he will stick with?
Yeah, that's the thing. I know you say where there's a field goal factor. I wouldn't go that far. Sorry, lads, I just wouldn't. I said it's cautious optimism. But here's the thing, right? If he turns around and he picks Matt Doherty for the next squad, that cautious optimism will retreat, and it will. I'm sorry, not being negative. That's the truth of it. If you bring in Matt Doherty just to say, right, I'm going to bring him in. I'm not going to play him because he's not up to it. But I don't want him coming out calling me a liar, for example. I'm not saying that's what's good, but let's just say, right, I promised you I'm going to bring you in November. Oh, by the way, I'm not, unless he gets injured. So I'll appease him. I'll bring him in and quietly fade him out instead of just actually dealing with it with the phone call and say, listen, you weren't good enough. I'm going to give you some time. I need more effort, Matt. If you're going to come into my team, I need you running. I need you running up and down. I need you giving more. I don't expect it over 90 minutes. You're 32, going on 33 in a couple of months. I need more. But if he's going to sort of dance around this guy, he doesn't contribute anything. Let's be honest. He hasn't. He had a decent game against Portugal in Faro.
Played it left wing back.
As a left wing back for that was it. That is it for him in an Ireland shirt. Okay.
Right.
From what I can remember. And if he brings him back in, he's going to undo a lot of that goodwill. And I really hope he doesn't. Unless Matt comes on, he starts banging goals in for Woolston. Fair enough. Yeah, pick him on form. But there's no form to pick. The fans are dismayed with him. They don't want to see him. Let's be honest. I hate to do this, but let's be honest here. The fans are tired of him at the moment. The pundits are calling him out. Why bring him back? Why subject him to more of that? Why subject yourself to more of that?
Sorry, Dave.
Sorry, go on, Conor.
I was just going to say that we now actually have another right back in the squad with Darragh O'Shea. That I don't know if Dave, you'll probably mention it. Big. He played at right back for Ipswich at the weekend after playing for Ireland during the international break. So I still think we could persist with Darragh O'Shea as that right back in that position. I know Coleman will most likely, if he comes, I know he's made the bench last weekend, but if he starts playing some minutes, he'll probably start one of the two games at right back. And when I said Fessy and Coleman earlier, but Darragh O'Shea will probably be considered a right back if he continues to play there for Ipswich. I know it's definitely not his best position, but I still think he can do a decent job there for us.
Well, sorry, Matt, you got to come in there, and then we're going to wrap this up.
I was just going to come on, just to say, Matt Doherty has put pressure on Heimer now, for whatever this conversation was, and it will overshadow the announcement of the squad. There's no merit for him to come back in on performances, as we know. It's a big game, England at Wembley. Finland is a key game for us at home. I think what you'll see is what you're actually seeing from Matt Doherty is he's desperately trying to cling on to kind of international status, putting pressure on that manager to bring him into it. This is a little bit like when a player knows they might be getting phased out, but they also know the manager's going as well. And that's not the case here. We're under a new regime and, he's desperately trying to cling on. I think it puts unnecessary pressure on Heimer to kind of pick him if you're alluding to the fact that, I should be back in there in November and there's no reason for me not to be. I think he kind of thinks he's going to get a massive support from the Irish fans to think, Matt Doherty should be in there, but he's not. And I think what you'll see is he won't get picked and you'll see Matt Doherty probably throw his toys out the pram and announce his international retirement in lieu of not being picked by the manager. I wouldn't be surprised to see it at all.
Well, yeah, I think at this stage it'll probably be absolutely best for everyone. Anyway, we're going to move it on. Tell us what you think about this in the comments below. Has Matt been disrespected? Should he be included in the next squads? Tell us what you think. We are Irish football's most interactive podcast. So let's have a look at how our boys in green got on across the water this weekend, and then some updates from Conor on the weekday match day. Does that make sense? So let's start with the goalies. If there's any mistakes, Conor, please correct me. I'll allow it this time. So let's start off with the goalies. Creeping Gallagher, 90 minutes and a 2-1 win over Chelsea, or Chelsea, as I spelled it. Christ. Mark Travis, an unused sub for Bournemouth. Max O'Leary, 90 minutes and a 2-0 win over Middlesbrough. And Gavin Bazunu is still out injured. Let's go on to the defenders. Bessie Abaselli, update the photograph. 25 minutes and a 3-0 loss to Luton Town. Andrew Amabamadeli, Matt Doherty's mate, an unused sub. Nathan Collins, 90 minutes and a 2-1 loss to Man United for Brentford. Darragh O'Shea, 63 minutes and a 2-0 loss against Everton. Liam Scales, 90 minutes and a 2-2 with Aberdeen. Mark McGuinness, 90 minutes and a 3-0 win over Watford for Luton. Colin McDowd and Martin's pal, 77 minutes and a 5-0 win over Wayne Rooney's Plymouth. Robbie Brady, 90 minutes and an assist and a 1-0 win over Coventry. Seamus Coleman, an unused sub. Good to see him back for Everton in a 2-0 win over Ipswich. Matt Doherty, everyone's pal, an unused sub in the game against Man City. Jake O'Brien, also an unused sub for Everton. And Shane Duffy, 90 minutes and a 1-1 against Stoke City over the weekend. Ryan Manning, not in the squad.
He played.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He got
Jimmy
an assist.
Good, 90 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Portsmouth. John Egan, 1 minute and a 2-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday. But that's why I have Conor McAvoy. Sorry, Conor. But that's why I did say, to be fair, if I get it wrong, you are there to correct me. So you have the absolute full picture. There. So go on, talk us through the defenders, Conor. Go on.
What do you want me to say? Ryan Manning, good to see him get. He played as like the left-sided centre backs and the wing back, switching between both from the wee bits of highlights I seen, and he got a nice assist actually. His first Premier League assist and his second Premier League start, which is good to see. I'd imagine if he continues to play, which I'd imagine he will do, he'll be brought back into the Ireland setup. When a player's playing regularly in the Premier League, you can't say no. Unfortunately, Prendy will probably be a bit sad. His mate will end up dropping out. I'd imagine that'll be the man who'll probably make way. But yeah, I'm the defenders. Fessy got more minutes, which is, I know he started last night, but I think they're good to see more lads getting more minutes, and the same lads who haven't been playing, like Omobamidele, Doherty, O'Brien, are still not getting minutes.
I just want to say Ryan Manning doesn't count if I don't have it on my pick, just saying.
Oh, sorry. My condolences, Ryan.
I'm only human, folks. Right, let's move it on to the midfield. And yet again, Conor, if I make a mistake, please feel free to correct me. I'm going to dig you when I fucking see you in Dublin.
Can do nothing.
Josh Cullen, 89 minutes and a 2-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday. Jason Knight wasn't in the squad. I think he's injured, is he, at the moment?
He got an assist.
What was it? I'm
a week.
Right, let's move it on to the midfield. And good thing we're professionals. This is the first go we've had of this. God. Josh Cullen, 89 minutes in a 2-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday. Jason Knight, 90 minutes and 2 assists in a 2-0 win over Middlesbrough. Jason Maloney, 7 minutes in a 1-1 draw with Oxford. Finn Azaz, 62 minutes in a 2-0 loss beat Bristol. Jack Taylor, 90 minutes in a 2-0 loss against Everton. Jamie McGrath, 90 minutes and an assist in a 2-2 with Celtic. Will Smallbone, 22 minutes in a 3-2 loss against Leicester. Alan Brown, 5 minutes in a 1-0 win over Hull City. And Mark Sykes, not in the squad for Bristol. Probably going to take him off this, actually. And Andy Moore in 90 minutes on the weekend in a 1-1 draw with Norwich. So, thankfully, no errors that time, lads.
Do you want me to deliver some bad news? Unfortunately, according to Rep Tracker, Jimmy McGrath picked up 2 assists against
For
Celtic,
fuck's sake.
and Mark Sykes was on the bench for Bristol.
Anyway, that's why we have Rep Tracker here. So fair play.
Yeah.
Picking out.
I wouldn't mind. That's the second go I've had of it. Sorry, it wasn't a rush up. That's why we have Rep Tracker here to cross-check everything that I did. Yeah, I originally didn't have I let the genie out of the bag. I originally didn't have Jason Knight down as playing. We got 2 assists. Jamie Knight, Jason Knight. Oh God.
You've lost
it.
the plot.
I have completely lost the plot, folks. Yeah, go on. Add to it, Conor.
There's not really much. I switched over to the Everton game when Jack Taylor came on for Ipswich, and I thought he impressed on his cameo. He always looking to play forward, stuck in. He played kind of as a number 8 more than I know when he came on for Ireland against Greece. He played as a number 10 more, but he played as a deeper role, and he was constantly getting on the ball, looking to make things happen, which is a positive sign, especially when you're coming off the bench. You can tell he's trying to really break into that Ipswich team and make a point. So it's a good positive thing for Ireland as well, I think, especially in that double pivot. He can beat the more box-to-box midfielder in that role in the long term for us. And then Andy Moore has continued to impress. I know we can talk about last night, but even at the weekend, the Stoke fans just absolutely adore him. They think he's unbelievable. There's not much else to say. Jason Knight continuing to have a great season, 2 assists the other day, as captain of Bristol City. And I think the big one was Jimmy McGrath. Jimmy McGrath had a brilliant performance against Celtic the other day. I don't know if you've seen his 2 assists, but the first one that was like the outside the boot pass in behind Scales to the striker was unbelievable. So it's good to see. Now we have a couple of players in that number 10 position. We have Azaz, we have Knight who can play there. We have Taylor can even play there. McGrath, Andy Moore, and we have options there now. So it'll be tough, Heimer, to pick a couple of number 10s for the November camp because there's so many that can actually do a job there.
Did you see on the last episode there was a comment saying that we need to put and thank you by the way for the comment, even if you don't agree with what we're saying, we thank you for taking the time. Genuinely, that's what we're about. But it says we need to put some respect on Jamie McGrath.
Yeah,
what do you reckon?
The problem is we said he shouldn't be in the next squad, and then he went and got 2 assists against Celtic. But he's a good player, and he's shown well for Ireland in times. And when he plays for Ireland, he's never really played his best position, which is number 10. He's always been played, like he came on against Finland there, played on the left wing. He really struggled, to be honest. But like when you see him play, there's some games he's done really well for Ireland, and he has impressed. Like he's technically very good, and the energy he provides, especially in bigger games, big European aways, he always shows up well. But it's just hard. As long as he's at Aberdeen, possibly he could be a player, I'd say, that next summer could be on the move. But because that move to Wigan a couple of years ago, if you remember, really, really hurt him. And went back, which just shows a lot of resilience. He went to Aberdeen, and at the moment, he's one of the best players in the Scottish League. And it's probably hard to tell a player is not getting picked up. I know the Scottish League isn't the best league in the world, but
yeah,
still a lot of good players in the league. And if he can show up as one of the best players, he definitely he can fight his point for being in the squad.
Absolutely. Right, we're going to move it on to the attack. I am dreading this with the attackers. Here goes. Jeez. Hold on. What have I got wrong here? Conor, I'm sure you'll pick holes with this. It's the forwards. God. Adamaida, 18 minutes, 2-2 against Aberdeen. Anyone? Evan Ferguson, 60 minutes and a 1-0 win over Newcastle, I hope. Troy Parrott, 62 minutes and a 2-1 loss against PSV. Sammy Smolich, 90 minutes and a 2-0 loss against Everton. Casey McIntyre, not in the squad. What are you going to tell me? Got like 2 assists now, right? Mikey Johnston, 7 minutes in that 1-1 with West Brom. Chidozie Ogbeni, unused sub for Ipswich, I hope. Well, not hope. Callum Robinson, 90 minutes and a goal in a 5-0 win over Plymouth. Probably going to tell me he got a hat-trick. Michael Obafemi, 62 minutes and a 5-0 loss against Cardiff. Tom Cannon, 90 minutes in a 1-1 with Norwich. Aaron Conley, 15 minutes, made his debut for Sunderland. Good for him. Genuinely good for him in a 1-0 win over his old club Hull. Sinclair Armstrong, 30 minutes in a 2-0 win over Middlesbrough. Was it all right? No.
Dave, that was brilliant.
Thank you.
That was superb.
Thank Christ. Yeah, anything to add to that, Conor? I should be moving on.
It was good to see Evan get his first Premier League start since March. Yes, March it was. I watched the game. He just Brighton were awful. They were so poor. They got the goal. Danny Welbeck scored a nice goal, but they got absolutely dominated whilst he was on the pitch. It just didn't work. And he couldn't get into the game at all. Really, he had a couple of nice when the ball came into his feet. He had nice touches and stuff, but he never got the ball anywhere near the goal that he could actually make an impact on the game, which was a bit of a pity because we all know how badly he needs to get a goal. But hopefully, with Welbeck picked up a bit of a knock, I think I seen Welbeck tweeted saying it's not that bad, but it'll probably mean Ferguson's guaranteed to start against Wolves this weekend, which I know it'll put more pressure on him to score. But I think Ferguson probably is just desperate to get that chance of regular run of games in the Brighton team to show how good he is. And Tom Cannon's back playing minutes. Callum Robinson's actually starting to
scored again last night, didn't
he scored again last night. He's firing in front of goal at the moment, which is, I know we probably think we should have other lads in the squad over him as striker options, especially the younger lads. But the thing is, he's impressing. He's doing well. And Troy Powart's had a couple of tricky weeks for PSV because they got a red card the other day at home to PSV after what? It was like 10-15 minutes. And sure, what are you going to do as a striker against PSV or one of the top Dutch teams? And when you go down to 10 men, your striker's never going to be in the game. So Tom Cannon. Tom Cannon still hasn't scored since his 4 goals. So I wonder, will he be considered for November, or is it going to be thought that if he doesn't score between now and the squad's announced, will he not get back in the squad?
Fair points. That wraps up this week's Oi Big, which is a bit of a car crash, so to speak. We're going to wrap it up now, guys, but before we go, we're going to talk a little bit just about the season tickets. Martin, this is your time to shine. The ticket maestro over there, Martin Delaney. But here we go. They have announced 2025 season tickets coming soon. Martin, have they given a date when they're going to actually release these?
Yeah, 30th October, so a week today. And what's going to happen is the season ticket renewals will open. They'll be giving us details of the 2025 pricing will be announced. There is going to be expected to be an increase in the season tickets, which is not great for obviously Irish football supporters. We've made sure that we've made representations to the FAI just explaining that it's one of the most expensive season tickets across all the other home nations, the way they structure this. But, there are different kind of processes in place with some of the other associations of how they do price their tickets and things like that. So that's something that we have to take into account. But yeah, they're basically opening it up at the end of October. You will have the opportunity to renew by the 13th of November. So the cynic in me says you will have to confirm your support of Irish football before we play Finland, to say, yep, I want to be part of it going forward. They're going to offer all sorts of incentives, though, with this, that, there's a new loyalty scheme, which means that if you sign up to the season ticket, that will put you in a good position to get tickets for the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Euros, which is something that obviously they're keen to promote because Ireland are going to be hosting 6 games at the Euros.
Good to see they're confident we'll be at the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we don't even know the draw yet. We don't know the opposition. They're just going early. They're going to try and get in the Christmas market, which they've changed that before. It used to be a seasonal season ticket package, as we would kind of be used to, but now it's kind of the calendar year they do. So you'll have an opportunity to renew it till the 13th of November. So and then they'll open it up to the general public and from 20th of November, basically. So after the England game, but we still won't know the opposition who we have in the forthcoming games. For England as well, away, I know that's an interesting one. The deadline for the applications for the away game via the away FAI portal closes on Thursday. So if you haven't yet to apply on that, do so. Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, that game we were saying off air that we're all looking forward to it. England at Wembley. I know it's competitive in some respects, but it is against England, so it will obviously bring a bit of interest and the support. And we've referred to kind of some of the events as well that we're going to be putting on that weekend.
Which is what we're going to do now. So as Martin said, we play England on the 17th of November. But if you're around London on the 15th of November, we have a couple of great nights actually on that weekend. The first one is Lansdowne Legends, Friday the 15th. That is going to be in the London Centre in Camden. Martin and myself will be chatting away to Ian Hart, Alan Kelly Jr. and Clinton Morrison's also going to be live music and all sorts going on there, and a raffle. Tickets for that will be available in the link below. If you can't make the show and you want to contribute to the Irish Centre is a charity and it does fantastic work for less fortunate Irish in London, basically to help them out with bills, that kind of stuff. So if you can't make it but you want to contribute to a fabulous cause, please, you can do so by purchasing a ticket. The proceeds will all go to the London Irish Centre in Camden. They do some fantastic work. And also, Martin, on the Saturday, we are going to be with Ian Hart in the Claddering. Talk us through that one, please.
Yeah, so Saturday mid-morning, we're going to be opening up the Claddering in Hendon, which is only, it's pretty central to London. It's about 20 minutes on the tube outwards. But yeah, great venue, fantastic host there. There'll be food available all day up till 10 o'clock. And then we've got some live music. We've got Kit Conor with Paul Bean taking place during the day, and that is upstairs in the function room. It's free entry to that, so bring a few quid if you want to kind of buy some Irish rare shirts. They'll have classic shirts on display as well. We've got some really rare Irish football shirts which are not for sale, but we'll be hearing a story of them, of how they're exchanged and swapped and where the lads got them. Some great collectors come along to that. And then we've got Ian Hart on stage later on again, just to chat to him about the England game coming up and his career, obviously playing for Ireland. And we've got some brilliant bands as well, Catalpa, Life O'Reilly and Fieldsy, all on Saturday night. So it's a late one, 2:30, the place will be closed. And we'll have a great night there. There'll be loads of stuff on sale as well, posters and whiskey flask and all sorts, Dave. So it should be good. So anyone's free to come along to that one.
Yeah, that is the one. That is free, free entry. But it's a fantastic place to Claddering. They do fantastic work over there as well, and they're great partners to the podcast and to Risk London. They're brilliant over there. Food is awesome as well. Really good food. Drink is great as well.
We'll also be there on match day. Match day on Sunday. We've got the whole bands all lined up again for a preview of the show, of the game even. And there's breakfast from 10 o'clock on Sunday. So it is the place to go. 30 minutes away from Wembley. They're looking at putting some coaches on as well. So do look out for messages on our socials about how that's been arranged. But you can just jump in an Uber from there up to Wembley. It's 20-30 minutes in an Uber. And it's the place to go pre and post game. There's going to be some great bands lined up. We're going to look at getting some special guests in as well from around the day. We've gone out to all of our contacts through Lansdowne Raw and Risk London, and we've invited everybody to this event because we want it to be the place that all the Irish fans come to in London.
Yeah, there's nowhere else to go. If you're coming over for the game, 15th, we've got three Lansdowne legends on the stage who've had fascinating careers, whether you like them or not. Fascinating careers, and they're going to be very honest and open about that in an uncensored chat with those three guys. And also on the Saturday, we will be in the Claddering, and the Sunday will be in the Claddering as well. Martin, myself, and Conor. Conor, you're going to be there, aren't you? You're going to be around.
Not if you're there.
Conor doesn't drink on this one. He's not allowed to. It's not an away trip.
He's not
allowed to drink on this one. He's working.
Yeah, no drink for you on this one. Thank you very much. You'll be on the Guinness Zero with myself. But no, honestly, there is nowhere. We will have more details. We will have directions here on Lansdowne because Martin and I, we live here. So where else are you going to go for the best news and experience if you're coming out to London for that game? We live here. Trust me, we will put you right. We'll give you all sorts of directions to get to the ground. That any sort of information, give us a shout. We'll help you. We'll be more than happy to help you with that. Anyway, lads, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. Bit of a mare for myself on today's one, with the backdrop falling, the sun shining through, and just all sorts of stuff go wrong, but we got through it anyway, folks. As always, if you wish to subscribe to the page, do scan the QR code here, head over to the Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. Please like the video, it really does help the algorithm, and do subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want opinion, head over to lansdownemore.ie, lansdownemore.ie. There's a new article being written by one of our writers, James Agnew, about the Steve Staunton era, and I can't wait to have a read of that. And also Conor McAvoy over Rep Tracker. That's Rep Tracker on Twitter. Give him a follow if you want to find out what's going on with the latest with Irish players, current squad, future squads, the lot. He is doing God's work over there. Anyway, we're out of here. I'm David Dunn. He's Martin Prendergast. He is also Conor McAvoy sometimes. This is Lansdowne Roar. We're out of here. Good night. God bless.